are listening to the Game Like Training podcast, where we talk about golf practice, golf learning, golf psychology, the PGA Tour, college golf, and all things golf. On this show, we talk about some of the most common things that are going on in golf. We share our beliefs and our insight to the industry, which has really come from been in the industry for over a decade. We try to bring on as many top quality coaches, world-renowned academics, and pioneering professors in different domains that can really help the industry and help us as coaches or players play better golf or teach better. Hey, I'm your host, Matthew Cooke.
I'm your co-host, Eric Zeigel. Exciting weekend, wouldn't you say, Matty?
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Tiger. Yeah, so that was exciting. Obviously, Tiger getting his 80th career win. I know you and I were watching that together yesterday, laid out by the pool.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty incredible.
You know, I said like 2-3 years ago, I said he's going to come back. I said just give him 2-3 years. I think I said 1 to 2 actually, but I said this guy is going to come back.
And he has.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's unbelievable to see what he went through, the adversity that he faced. And, you know, you'll hear us talk about it. We already have in podcasts. I know Iain speaks about it all the time. People's ability to kind of deal with that adversity and, you know, build up that resilience and to come back and perform the way he did and close out a tournament.
For sure.
Pretty staggering.
I mean, we talk, like you said, Ian's talked about it a lot. And we got a bunch of content on dealing with adversity. But the stuff this guy went through, I mean, it's not like it's things that aren't going on anyway. It's just he got caught doing it.
Well, right? Yeah, there's the social side. Well, yeah, even the social side, you know, put that aside and look at the physical.
Oh, injuries galore.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, the back fusion surgeries and all that stuff. I mean, it's a miracle that the guy's even out there playing the number of events that he did this year.
Dude, I slept badly like 3 weeks ago. I've not been able to hit a 9-iron since. And this guy's gone through back surgeries. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, some of the main things that stood out. So we went out for the practice round on Wednesday. And we were walking around. We didn't get to see Tiger. Everybody was there trying to watch Tiger, so we followed around some other people.
Bryson DeChambeaus.
So we followed that guy around. We followed him. We took some videos, took some photos. We were kind of observing what he was doing in the practice round, and I thought it was pretty incredible. The detail that he puts into a practice round. Obviously, he didn't perform to the standard that he was obviously hoping going into it as the current leader, and then
behaved a little bit like a bit of a crybaby during the tournament. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, we've seen that out of him before.
Yeah, true. I mean, we've seen that out of a lot of people. Let's not get started down that road.
Yeah,
but I think when it comes to and you know, we can put it up here somewhere. Nice big flashing lights. Our video guy can do something real special and go how to do a practice round. I mean, what DeChambeaus did and does is pretty much the pinnacle, right, of how to do a practice round.
I was,
for the most part,
blown away watching it. It was, like I said, the detail that went into it. I mean, he had probably seven or eight people out there with him, and he had.
Well, like to look at that payroll.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh! But he had his caddy was getting the slope percentages on par 3 tee boxes. He had two guys there from, not TrackMan, but Flight Scope. Yeah, he had two guys out there. No, it was Flight Scope. He had two guys out there from Flight Scope, and they were putting the Flight Scope down behind him for every shot.
Every single shot.
Every shot, collecting data. He hit one into hole number 2, the par 3, and he hit it, and it came out, I think, a little lower than he wanted, and that's where his caddy got out the level, measured the tee box. Told him what percentage it was sloped.
Measuring the tee box.
Yeah, that I've never seen. That is actually a new one for me. But then he asked, he says, what was the spin on that 6-iron? And they tell him, he's like, okay. And then he might have hit 2 putts. They got the stimp downhill, uphill, hit 2 putts, and then walked off the green. Like, there was no wasted energy. And I was talking to our good buddy Zach Parker about it. And he had an interesting comment. I'll have to find it on my phone. But it was something about how people think he's overcomplicating the game, but when you look at what he does, he goes into that much detail so that then he can be automated during the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, he does all of that to make it simpler.
Yeah.
You know, ultimately, he does all of that just so when he goes out and plays that he's just, like you said, automated, which so many of so many amateur golfers or so many golfers that are trying to get to that level struggle to be able to do. They struggle to automate when it comes down to it. There's too much interference, which affects their performance when it's coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Bryson, an easy way to think of it, he does all his homework before he gets out there.
Yeah.
And when it's time to play, it's just he's out there to play, and he knows his numbers. He knows the changes in altitude or elevation, uphill, downhill on all the shots. He obviously knows the greens. Everybody's heard about.
What do you think
how
he scored?
detailed he gets on the greens.
What do you think he scored in his practice round?
Like what he shot? I don't think he hit a putt to the hole. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Imagine that. You have a practice round and you don't actually play. You don't walk away with, I shot a level par today in my practice round. That is garbage.
If there's one thing it's that the hole will not be in that same spot come first round.
And that's where, what was it, Justin Rose?
Yep.
I mean, fair play to the guy. You missed 20 cuts or 21 cuts in a row before you come out on tour. And huge respect for the guy. Clearly an incredible golfer and can deal with adversity. But dude, trying to make putts to that hole and stand in there for 4 putts in a row until you make it just to feel better about yourself. That's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Completely.
And that's something that we see all the time with the juniors, college, professional meets, where all the guys that we kind of work with, guys and gals, that's one of the main things. There's so much wasted energy and effort that goes into a lot of their practice rounds. And then that was the thing that stood out to me with Bryson. It was so everybody on his team knew what they were out there to do.
Yeah, very task oriented.
It was impressive.
I mean, very driven.
I think.
Respect.
Yeah, so that was impressive.
But Tiger Woods, man,
yeah,
he's back.
So I pulled a few stats. I like numbers.
Did you not see on Instagram the stats? I saw a little thing he was number 1 in strokes gained putting at some point.
Yeah, no, his strokes gained putting, I think what I saw, he was second overall by the end of the tournament. But he gained,
maybe it was day 3 then.
He gained just over 5 strokes putting for the entire tournament.
Holy
Pretty impressive.
cow.
Those greens, by the way, if you weren't out there, they are way faster than they look on TV.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It's like
watching
putting
the
on
practice
glass.
round. Yeah, it was crazy. So 5 strokes gained for the entire tournament in putting. Tee to green, he was just over 4 strokes gained. Strokes gained total, obviously, almost 9.5 on the field, so he was first overall there. I think one that blew me away, so closing out tournament after having the outright lead through 54 holes, 95%. He was 42 of 44 going into the last round. So now he's 43 of 45. The entire tour since 2013, closing out after having the 54-hole lead, 42%. I mean, everybody knows how dominant this guy is, but this is since 2013. Think of the golfers that have come through the game and are still in the game since 2013. This guy was that dominant and, quite frankly, might be that dominant here again.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah.
40 what? 42 out of 40?
He was 42 out for 44. Yep. And then another one, 23 for 23 when leading 54 holes by 3+ strokes. Never blew a 3+ stroke lead.
That's my boy.
Staggering.
Tiger.
So I think last thing, we had a good conversation watching the final round yesterday.
Yeah, we watched every shot.
Yes.
Of Tiger and Rory.
And Rory on hole 8. Tiger hits one into that right bunker, the right fairway bunker. It's that tight hole off the tee with the water down the left.
Rory misses it.
Oh, that was
way right.
He was almost on hole 4. That's how far right that was. It was crazy. But it was a good conversation because we were also talking about kind of the things we observed in the practice rounds with the guys out there with their coaches, their PGA Tour coaches out there following them around. And, at that level, they miss a fairway and oftentimes are given what we would think is probably the wrong type of feedback.
And there's a whole, Dr. Tim Lee, a great friend of ours, has been a very, very good mentor of mine for a few years now. He just wrote a whole series of articles, and the most recent ones were specifically about feedback. So we'll link to that within this podcast. But it's an interesting one, feedback, and we so often see just whether it's whether it's poor feedback or it's the wrong type of feedback at the wrong time, and we're seeing, I mean, let's just be straight up honest about it. We're seeing Rory miss a fairway, and then and other players in the field like Justin Rose miss a fairway here and there, and the feedback that they're getting is that you did this in your swing again. This tendency to do this or that in your swing again cropped up, when quite frankly, it's complete garbage.
Well, if I was playing that hole, where's the one place I would miss? Right.
Duh. There's water left.
The context of that hole forces you to go right.
And our conversation I thought was great. So it brought back something that somebody said to me once. It was, imagine a basketball player taking a free throw, and that particular free throw, in whatever situation that basketball is in, it hits the right rim, and it goes in, but it takes a few bounces around the rim and then drops in. It doesn't just go straight in the hoop. Or if it was that bad of a shot, it misses the rim. It's not that his elbow did this and the degrees of separation in this and that all changed. No, it's simply just variability. It's just what happens with motor skills. They're not this robotic mechanical machine that is so precise it's the exact same every time. We're a human being in an environment that's ever changing. There's context within everything we're doing, and it just so happened that the variability on that shot produced that, and didn't miss it by much. It's not like it, added. It's not like that shot cost him 4 shots. He just missed it right. Like his swing didn't really do anything that much different. It's like a darts player throwing the dart at trying to get triple 20 and fill the power tail and misses and gets triple 1. Like, it's just variability.
Yeah.
Like, it's all right. That's what happens. You don't need to reinforce that he did this so-called move again when he's moving at such a high speed. You can't even notice that anyway. Like, the club could, for that shot, Eric, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a 300-yard drive, something like that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's Rory McIlroy.
From 300 yards, the club face could be less than a degree open or 1 degree open, and it could be that big of a miss because of how fast the club's traveling.
Yeah, and that's not even taking into account, possible changes in impact location.
Exactly. It might have been, if club's a little open, half a degree open, and he hit it a fraction towards the neck. That's the outcome. He didn't make this huge shift in swing change. Like, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, but it's good to. It's cool that you say that, because when you do use that example, and I like the basketball one, the free throws, there's a reason why.
Hey, MJ, yeah, right elbow was out.
There's a reason why you don't see guys that, sustain these 10, 20-year careers and have 100% free throw percentage. Like, there's variability within the movement of these guys, but you don't see somebody trying to refine their shooting form to the extent that you do golf coaches.
Exactly.
So, there's just that weird paradigm in the golf industry that, oh, he missed a fairway, you did something wrong. There's this lack of understanding that this is to be expected. And you have to also take into account, those contextual changes when it comes to, now there's water on the left. The lights just went out.
Change of scenery, folks.
Change of scenery. Right as we said, change of context. Here you go.
Look at that. We can still do it.
So the you put him on a hole that has hazard down the left, and is wide open to the right. There's no out of bounds right. Like, I would expect that to be the miss. Tiger missed it into the right bunker. Great shot. You do that 4 days in a row. Not too bad.
Like, if I'm Tiger's coach, or if I'm Rory's coach on that hole, and if Rory turns back to look at me like, what the hell happened? I'm like, good miss, man. Awesome. Great job.
Yeah.
You can get up and down from there. You can put it to, you've missed it right. You've got tons of green to work with. The crowd's trampled all over where you're going to be, so you're probably not going to be in such a crappy lie that you're not going to be able to get it out of there. Good miss.
Yeah.
You're not in the water. You're not playing free off the tee. Like,
well, and it's important too as coaches that you get out on the golf course when you're, getting a new student and you're assessing their game, because you might have somebody that comes to you and says their miss is left, and then you put them on number 8 tee at that course. I'm gonna guess that all of a sudden the miss becomes right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
much.
That's kind of a separate topic, but still along the same lines. Understanding the contextual differences, yeah, within the environment. What the course. There's a reason the course is designed the way it is, and there's a reason that there's water left, and there's a reason that it's more penalizing. There's a reason why a majority of the players in that field miss that fairway right. Mm-hmm. So,
and you got to understand how it relates back to just movement in general. So for all those coaches that are very good with technique and the biomechanics and the positional aspects of the club and the body and all of that, to me it's movement. So you got to understand that all of them contextual differences, they will affect the movement. They will affect essentially the motor aspect of what's going on inside a player. So from their brain, all of these stimulating aspects or the neurons that are firing in the brain and that are traveling down different pathways and making a formation of essentially what the movement would be is all going to be very different depending on the environment that the player's set up in. So it might be that this particular shot on this particular hole, because of the gallery down the right and the gallery behind and the noises that are going in the crowd and that the water's on the left, and because it's the final day, because he's playing with Tiger Woods and all of a sudden it feels like there's a million people around him, it might mean that certain neurons travel down a different route in your brain, a different pathway. The formation's a little different. It sends these neurons down your central nervous system out into the different regions of your body, and there's a little bit more of variability, and that caused the club to be half a degree open on that shot. And all of a sudden, when you're playing at such a high level, that's where one miss with them speeds and under that pressure in that difficult of a situation when the fairways are 15 to 20 yards wide, or if not less, that's why the changes in movement happen. And we got to understand that that's just movement, like in general, variability, and it's to be expected. Yeah. Doesn't mean that you've still got that bad tendency to do this with your swing or whatever. It's just reality of movement in general.
Yeah, one, even players at that level, there is going to still be variability in what they're doing in that movement.
Exactly.
But it is funny that you mentioned the playing with Tiger and the difference in the crowds, because Rory even acknowledged that in an interview. He said it's like a 3 or 4 stroke penalty.
Yeah,
having to play with Tiger.
He said that you play with Tiger and there's people that shout mashed potato at you, and you're like, mashed potato? Where's that come from?
Yeah, it's golf.
That's because you're playing with Tiger Woods. Even he acknowledges that it's a few shots more.
Yeah. So, question for you, Matty. If people are searching for a place to find more information on motor learning.
Oh, yeah.
If only there was a resource out there.
Yeah, if
only.
Selfless plug.
Where should people go? Because you're talking about it, obviously this is a topic that you're very passionate about. And, it just kind of came up yesterday while we were watching, and we were like, we should really chat about this and try to share our thoughts with some people. But
yeah, because that's always going to be my perspective on things.
Yeah.
Movement.
Mm-hmm. But if people are looking for more information relating to motor learning and better understanding, we've talked a little bit about feedback, types of feedback, when's the right time to provide feedback, and then obviously variability within the movement. Where can people go, or where should they go? What do you think is? So
you've got to check out the motor learning course that went live, maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago. I'm not entirely sure when, but it was I was helped in the designing process of this course. I was helped with what topics to cover, in what order to cover, and I was helped by a very well respected professor in the field of motor learning. And so on the website, gltgolf.com, you can go to certifications, either /certifications or just go on the homepage. You'll see certifications right there. And it's one of the first ones on the page, motor learning course with Matthew Cooke. And in there, you'll learn about, what is motor learning, some common myths. You'll learn how basic principles of practice. You'll learn about feedback, training aids, the different types of feedback. You'll learn in such an order that is really simple to understand, and we cover like the whole spectrum of movement, really. So if you're a coach and you're trying to help golfers make a swing change, or train to be more precise with the current swing that they've got, you have to check this course out, because I'm going to show you and educate you on how to improve movement and just the generalized aspects of movement, which ultimately, when I say movement, I mean golf swing. So I should say golf swing, really. But anyway, website, gltgolf.com, certifications, that's where you can find it. And you can check out the blog, and there's a section called practice. And basically it should be called motor learning, really. But you click on the practice tab, and it is all motor learning stuff. It's things that I've written, that Tim Lee's written, that we've had John Kessel help out with that we've had Dick Schmidt before he passed away. We've got a lot of good writers and a lot of good content right there on the blog, and certainly our motor learning online course. And it's free. I mean, that's the best thing. It's free.
Yeah.
Go and do it.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
cost you anything.
Might as well. Check it out. Obviously, you can leave comments, email us, contact us if you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
We're here to help. So that's awesome. Cool. Any final thoughts other than
Just
go Tiger and go USA, Ryder Cup coming up?
Oh, Ryder Cup. Yeah, we're going to cover that. But
we're going to have a little in-office rivalry here.
Oh, yeah.
Me against the two British guys.
USA. USA.
But that was the Tiger crowd. Pretty exciting. I mean, it's just such a different game when he's involved.
When Tiger wins, everybody wins right now.
Yeah.
That's it. But no, I'm good. Is that it?
Yeah.
I think that was cool. All right, people. This is awesome. I can't wait to get this out. This will be later on. We're filming right now. It's going to be out in just a few hours. Our video producer's looking a little worried now that I said it's supposed to be out in a few hours, but we'll find out. But thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time, energy. Check us out, www.gltgolf.com. Remember, the motor learning course is on /certifications. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud. We still aren't doing Snapchat because we're useless with that stuff. We need to hire someone that's a lot younger than us, because we have no idea how to work it. But thanks for your time. We'll see you next time. Peace. Go Tiger.